is listening to the Magic Flute, they will hear lots of very special instruments. And this is one of those unique and special things that Mozart does, is to create a role for instruments that is unique and very defined. So you'll hear, for instance, beautiful sounding trombones, which at the time period for Mozart, trombones were used very rarely. They're used in his Requiem. They started to be used in Beethoven's symphonies, but not until his Fifth Symphony. They were really a very special instrument at that time. They were really used mostly in church or in spiritual situations. And so when we hear the trombones and the Magic Flute, we go into a spiritual realm of Sarastro. So when the audience listens and hears those trombones, they will realize how very, very special it is. They will also hear beautiful flute solos. Those are, of course, done by our own Brenda Fedoruk, and they represent the Magic Flute, which carries Tamino through his trials. And there is also a very special, it's called a keyed glockenspiel. So a glockenspiel is usually played now in modern orchestras with mallets and by a percussion player. In our production, and in most productions, we use a celeste, which is a keyboard instrument, like a tiny piano, but it sounds like sparkling bells. And this celeste is the magical instrument that helps Papageno get through his trials and eventually to meet his Papagena. So there are those very, very special instruments that I would love for the audience to listen for. And also I want the audience to know that in Mozart operas, there are these very, again, very special parts of the opera that end the first act and end the second act. And we call these the finales. But in Mozart, all the way through the opera, each next character or each next musical number is rather short, and it is specific to that one piece of music. It could be an aria, it might be a trio, it might be something quite short and quite specific. But at the end of Act 1 and at the end of Act 2, we have something that Mozart does so incredibly, and he creates these finales which are so extraordinary and cover such ground that they are like miniature operas within themselves. Inside this music now we have no dialogue. We have the libretto that's sung, but no spoken dialogue. And the music transforms from one dramatic element to another, unfolding along the way. And we truly deepen our own personal musical journey when we go into these finales at the end of Act 1 and at the end of Act 2. And I truly just want to highlight that for the audience, how special those are and how special they are to Mozart specifically.